I'm both interested and not interested.
Delicious.
Right. Looks like we're going to be ready once again. We're going to have our second semi-final of the night, which is going to be a UK face-off. It's going to be Derpy versus Team Paria.xZoro. Again, very recently picked up, I think. I think he's been with Paria for a few weeks now. And it's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm assuming it's going to be Kenshi versus Takeda. That would be the safe bet.
Well, I actually haven't seen a ton of footage from Zoro post-patch. I always kind of associate him as a long-time Kotal Kahn player, because I know he played War God for a good year and a half of the game, but you know is one of the many Kotal players to drop the character after the recent changes, where he is significantly worse than he used to be. But looks like he's going with Possessed, which I know he played in the last Community Cup he made. He placed well in.
Interesting to... I think Kung Lao, I mean, he's always been a strong neutral-based character. But interesting he's gone for Buzzsaw. I think the entire reason we've definitely seen Derpy go for the Buzzsaw pick here is to just try and keep that full-screen game in check. If you're going to try and deal with a character with full-screen presence as Kung Lao, Buzzsaw, especially post-patch,
that must be
definitely... Yeah, it's the option you go for. You've got the spin anti-air on the teleport. You can keep him in check from jump distance with the low hat as well. You can pressure him. You've got good options here.
Oh, that's always where it gets dangerous, when people are hitting you with down ones after pretty significant negative frames. But again, Zoro is making a really good aggression with this round. Spent a lot of meter to do it, but a significant life lead back to the corner. Not going to matter too much unless Derpy can make something really good happen with this corner pressure and the massive amount of bar he's got.
This is definitely one way to start it. He's going to get a knockdown. Now, I do wonder if he's going to go for it. And he gets the overhead. That's going to be a full combo. Is Zoro going to be able to break? No, he's not. Full combo. And he goes for a meter burn grab again. That's going to be chip frames and a comeback from Derpy. What a sequence.
That 1% to full life comeback. All because Zoro spent all of his bar early. Back to the corner. That is always where Kung Lao was wanted you to be. Unfortunately, stuffed the spin out in the air. But you know Derpy's going to be feeling himself after that incredible comeback.
I was just about to say, it's actually quite characteristic of Zoro. He has amazing head starts, but it's a very expensive start to the round every time. Whenever he seems to play, he spends a lot of resources on that first round, and historically, he doesn't have a lot left after that round is finished, and he really struggles to get momentum back from that point on. Hopefully we don't see it again.
But again, we find himself back to the wall. Actually does manage to catch him with the special, which grounds him in a way he can actually make something work. Chip damage adding up, goes to the 50-50. Well, not 50-50, you can definitely fuzzy the low, but a much stronger round for Exoro. But again, finds himself starved for meter. Derpy really needs to make something happen with his.
It's just blocking that back forward 3. It's just going to give him the opening he needs to get in, and he, once again, has Zoro in the corner, spending his only bar of meter on the reversal.
Ooh, wow.
And that's very important, yeah, not getting the right ground pound, forcing the way in from Derpy, and in this situation, Zoro's in a bit of trouble.
I really like the adjustment from Derpy though, realizing that as soon as Zoro doesn't have a bar of armor, because that is definitely Zoro's one of his favorite defensive methods is to throw out those armored attacks just like that. But he does block a lot more often when he doesn't have the bar. So we've seen Derpy a couple of times now really start to enforce throws when Zoro doesn't have meter, and he actually got the read at the end there with that to win the game. That was really strong from Derpy. I like the adjustment.
You can definitely see why he's gone for this Buzzsaw pick. He's been able to keep him contested from that jump distance, even full screen, and you know it's a good set of tools. You can definitely think, and I think post patch as well, Buzzsaw being given increased damage too means that you're no longer sacrificing damage output by picking Buzzsaw. It's not just I want to establish a full screen game
to get those chunky damaging B&Bs.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where it used to be that you would sacrifice serious damage at the expense of having more full screen presence. Now with post-patch Buzzsaw, all Kung Lao variations have lost the spin, so your defense in general is not going to be as good. But with Buzzsaw, you now get a bit more. He has actually
been using the teleport a couple of times really well to get out of those, well, whatever it is that we're seeing Zoro try and lay on. He's actually using the teleport very well, considering.
He's making good reads with it, but again, spending his only bar of meter to try and secure the first hit bonus, but it does go straight back into his face as Derpy takes the first hit and now has 2 bars of meter. Zoro is in a heap of trouble at this point.
Is he going to use the bar and wake up? All delays wake up. Derpy realizes that is a full confirm. Nice chunky 28% meatless. And Derpy, a commanding round 1. This is going to be chip territory. I'll be very surprised if he spends his bar on wake up here. Yeah, of course.
Well, there really is. There's nothing Zoro can do about that. There really was nothing he could do. And unfortunately, at the end, trying to go for the wake up push instead, knowing it was a waste of a bar to spend bar, and Derpy knowing that, and completely smothering him. And this is what Kung Lao does best. Smothering you, and then it just, you know, sticks you in the corner, and that's it. Keep you in that house forever.
I actually feel like this is Zoro's biggest problem right now by far, though, is just if he has neutral, he will armor. And unfortunately, that is happening over and over and over again. And he's finding himself absolutely starved for meter when he desperately needs it to get Derpy out of his face. He finds himself significantly down on life blocks again.
Game over.
2 bars, that is death just like that. A very fast game, too. All because I think Zoro is just finding himself starved for resources.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. It's one of those situations where just because you have bar doesn't mean you should be spending bar as often as he is. And the issue with that is that in the first game, he was landing a lot of reversals, and they could have potentially been the start of a comeback or the start of just changing momentum in his favor. But as the set is getting further and further, it's becoming a lot more obvious that he's going to go for those options. And the problem with that is if your reversal's not working out and you've only got 1 bar, you've now got nothing against Derpy, who has consistently had 2 bars or even more. So he's gone in for the Tremor pick. I didn't even know Zoro had a Tremor. It's an interesting pick. I definitely think Crystalline does well versus Lao.
I actually think we're getting to the point in the game's life where like multiple characters aren't really beginning to get a bit of a surprise. The game's been out for long enough. I expect the majority of players have a bunch of pocket characters they use for fun. That in situations like this, you know, there's nothing wrong with really just bringing them out and seeing what they can do.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I think this matchup in particular, I think one of the big changes is going to be that because Kung Lao no longer has armor on his meter burn spin, the armor breaking meter burn spin, which would normally get around the crystalline armor, is now not a threat. Okay, so he's got a knockdown, going in for the flex. He's now going to have that free hit of armor. I'm not even sure if that was an intended cancel, but Derpy just straight up jumping out of it, and it's going to work out. Now,
but this is where it gets important, because we're about to see how Zoro can defend without that armored. Still, actually no, finds himself still going to the armored option. I was wondering how eager he would be to go back to the armor so quickly, but it looks like he is again. Derpy with a nice whiff punish. Are we going to see another comeback from him? He has a bit more life to work with this time, so can afford to take a hit perhaps. Also a breaker available. Down 1. I like that option. Regan finally starting to react to the teleport.
Ooh, making the teleport with as well. Yeah, big time right there. Zoro takes the first round. Very interesting situation. I think this is a good pick. I definitely agree with this pick.
Well, he's going to be able to open you up. He's got that flash parry option, as well as just having big, reliable, meterless damage that you can get. Corner carry, nice use of corner pressure as well. Good meter build. I just feel like this is a bit more of a complete character for him, especially against Buzzsaw.
Oh, very clean jump in. Derpy's not going to be able to break. Still opts to break halfway through the combo. He was actually still going to save himself a significant amount of damage. Tremor does tend to hit like a trucker for raw jumping, especially near the corner. But this is where Derpy needs. And once again, the grab in the direction of the corner. This could be the one switch of momentum that Derpy needs to try and win this round.
You can tell Derpy's waiting for armor, though. You can kind of feel like Zoro's use of armor is kind of being used to his favor here, because almost like Derpy's respecting the armor a bit too much now. But I guess that's the mix-up in the stagger. This is the token Buzzsaw corner game we've seen since absolutely week 1. Gets tagged by the armor last minute, though. Derpy, I don't think he was quite ready.
Oh, a massive whiff! He's going to get a full combo. He's not going to kill him on this. Again, looking really careful. He's not going to be able to break at this point. And there we go. Just like that, the jump kick. Now, that entire round was really smart from Derpy because he kept the full combos to a minimum. It was grab after grab after grab. And at the point where you've taken so much damage, breaking is no longer an option because you don't have the health to absorb it anyway. Fantastically played from Derpy, and now finds himself on match point.
Also, a smart move to use a jump kick instead of a punch when he realised that he didn't actually have the hat back at the time. But it's not going to slow down Zoro. He is going in. Oh, tags him. Doesn't get a full combo, though. Delay wake up. Going to eat some pressure. Another grab. We need to see him start teching these.
Now, this could be the beginning of the end, but the punch is going to be good. Catches the overhead on that string. I think everyone gets hit by that overhead. The low is just such a full combo.
Well, the lower health
just
you
not
have,
worth
the
it.
more dangerous it becomes, because it actually is going to get close to actually killing you. It's no longer just take the overhead, it doesn't do as much damage. Like, when the overhead could actually kill you, it's really dangerous.
That jump kick could have been a full combo, but it's not taken. Disrespects it and forced to break. You wonder what is this next play going to be? The rolling cutter gets blocked. Now he can't take any more of those hat tosses because it's no longer going to be in his favor. The jump in connects, but a good block on the low. Derpy's still alive.
Oh, and then
not anymore.
Armor. He was just looking for it. As soon as he saw Derpy jump forward, that was basically death. I'm not sure. Maybe he could have teleported to make it whiff, but I'm not sure if he would have recovered in time. A bit of a sticky situation for Derpy to find himself in there, I think. But you know, a good character swap for Zoro, finding himself better off. I mean, at least he's got a game on the board.
One of the major things we actually are yet to see in this matchup is the flex, the armor. I think it's because Zoro is not particularly landing a lot of full combos. Normally you would see a knockdown, and then on the knockdown you would see the Tremor armor, and that's the sort of most traditional setup. But because it's coming from individual hits, we're not really seeing many opportunities for Zoro to go for it. Now, interestingly enough, Derpy's gone for Tempest instead of Buzzsaw, which definitely means that the armor for Crystalline is going to be even more effective because of that single hitting Meteor Burn spin.
No, definitely, I can get behind that, but at the same time, it's going to give Derpy some strong pressure options. It's going to give him nice confirms. Should he use the Meteor Burn orbital toss as well? I mean, I guess obviously he has always looked more comfortable on Tempest than Buzzsaw. So if anything else, this could have just been a comfort swap.
Now, I think interestingly here, there's a lot of patience that we saw. And the what? Wake up X-ray. I mean, it works. It's going to do big damage, but in that exact same situation, he could have done any other armored option for very similar damage. You know, a flash parry into full combo is still 33% or more.
Actually, I mean, I don't think he actually has anything with 2 hits of armor on it in Crystalline. So if he hasn't got his flex up, then his armored options are easy to armor break from Lao, because Lao has always been the king of meatless armor breaking. And I think that's probably why he opted for the X-ray. Unfortunately, drop at the end for Derpy, but that's chip territory. And again, I mean, this kind of goes back to it. X-ray, it worked. Sure, it connected, but it basically lost him the round because he had nothing left to get him off him.
I think lack of resources is definitely Zoro's worst enemy, and it's become ever so more prominent the longer this set has gone on. Derpy still has him in the corner, and just waiting, you know, waiting for his time to get that one single grab, and slowly he's chipping away at that health bar. Still has him near the corner. That's going to be a full combo, and once again, Zoro now with no resources.
He's probably not going to build a breaker by the end of this round, so unless he can make something happen without bar, which has been his Achilles heel so far, this might be miserable. Derpy gets a hard knockdown. Is he going to go for the orbiting? No, he's not. He's going to keep hold of the hat. Oh, he wants the block pressure. I get it. Good patience. Gets a hit. Can't turn anything off.
Zoro, unfortunately, was not ready for the full combo. Can he even afford to flex anymore? Spends the bar on it. Gets a clean jump. Now, this is everything but no stamina!
They wake up.
Whiff. That's game over. Yeah.
I like the patience. I actually really respect the patience from Derpy though, right at the end, just looking to block, just waiting for Zoro to do something that he's guaranteed chip damage. Because in that situation, Lao is just going, alright mate, press buttons. I want you to do something I can get a standing one, because that's going into orbiting hat, and that's going into down 4, that's going into whatever I want. A clean 3-1 for Derpy. Moving on into grand finals.
It's going to have another run back. We're going to have another run back in this situation. We've seen this before. Derpy against Mirko. Now, we can only hope this week that Derpy's able to make things a little bit closer, because when these guys have fought in the past, it has been...
Are you making a new lobby, or inviting me into
I'll make a new lobby, it's no problem. We've historically seen Derpy do quite well versus Mirko in some games, but, I mean, the win has always gone to Mirko in grand finals. That's always been the setting of which Mirko is taking the win and running away with it. So, you wonder, is Mirko going to take another Community Cup, or... is Derpy going to really pull it out of the bag this week and be your champion?